All right, next video in the Hammond collection for this wave. Scutosaurus. This is the dark horse of the line in that, why? Why do it exist? Jurassic World branding on the spine, probably meaningless. No information on the back about why they've decided to put this guy in the line. But I think I know why he's here, so we'll get to that. Let's pop him out of the box. Yeah, he's got the new weird cardboard wedge with tape, except this one's actually properly taped and not hanging loose. Look at his stubby ass little tail, but it's a Scutosaurus, so that tracks. All right, so the tiniest of tails. This guy is, oh, weird. He's, okay, so the trike was secured through the cardboard. This guy isn't. He's secured through the plastic. So that's a weird choice to make. It doesn't really matter. I just don't know logically why one is tied to the plastic and the other is tied to the cardboard. But it is what it is. All right. Only the one tie seemingly holding either of those figures in. So, there it is, extracted from its plastic tomb. I think I... Oh yeah, weird. I could see light through his shoulder hole. I don't know if I can catch that on the video. Probably not, because the light is not behind me. You could see through his body. Let me see if I can show this. Hold on. Does this work? Yeah, you see that? You could see straight through his fucking body. Ew. I don't like that. I mean, it's hard to see it. It's not like obviously a hole through the entire torso, but I've never noticed that on a different Hammond collection figure before. So I'm not a huge fan of that. His mouth does open. Many teeth, many chompers in there. Glass eye, much like the Triceratops, they're yellow glass with a pretty well-defined pupil. Pretty decent glass eye. Decent character in this guy's face. The head swivels on the neck. It looks like the neck should move as well, because there's like this seam here at the body. But it doesn't do much. Like there's some give to it, but it snaps back. One of those things where I'm like hesitant to mess with it too much because I don't trust it to not just kill itself and tear apart and die. Um, so I'm probably gonna leave it be. I don't know if he's supposed to have this kind of like semi-erect humped posture or if he's supposed to be more sprawled. I say that as like a figure and as an animal. Because this is not a dinosaur. This is a Permian like reptile or proto mammal type reptile. I don't know. I don't know exactly where this thing is. He's a weird fella, right? Little stubby tail again attached to the ball joint the same way the trike tail did. Now the trike tail I had to like heat up a little bit to get it to go in, and I'm not even sure it's fully attached still. We'll see if this guy is any better. Okay, this one works a little bit better. I got this one in there. So this ball joint thing is really stiff on both of them. It's really hard to tell that it's actually properly seated. There's not like a satisfying like click as it like gets past the ball joint. It just kind of stops moving. I don't like this tail design on either of these. It doesn't matter much because in both cases, that's just a tiny little stub tail that doesn't do anything. Um, but yeah. Coloring wise, the nails are unpainted, of course. But he does have all these little hornlets on his face painted, except for the ones like on the top of the head here, which aren't painted. But there's so many like little feature scales that like it doesn't really bother me that much. He's got dark green or black on the top, and then like this gray green in the middle, and then like a underbelly color. Um, And yeah, he does have some coloring continuing into the tail, such as it is. It's a tiny tail, but it's something. Not awful. Why is this in the franchise? Why do we get this figure? All I could figure, haha, is it was in the Kenner line. So in the original Jurassic Park line, this Scutosaurus we see here was planned and never released. It has this really distinctive orange, white, blue design that's actually a really nice color palette. Really cool. And this is not the color palette they gave the figure. They said, nah, this is too interesting. We're going to do this. We're going to do the repaint. This is the only version of this figure that was actually sold in stores. This was like a Toys R Us exclusive or a Walmart exclusive or something that came in a box set with another unreleased classic Kenner figure during the Lost World production. So they took a couple of unreleased figures and then they repainted them and did them as a like a store exclusive. And this color palette kind of fucking sucks. It's just green and brown. This is like boring. They took I don't know why they changed the color palette to be lame. Maybe because this is really easy to paint as a store exclusive and this is much more complicated to paint. That's probably why. But it sucks. It's disappointing. Even the eye color here is kind of the same, right? Because this thing has like this orangish eye and they gave this one the yellow. So I feel like that this is definitely a deliberate reference to this figure. The weird thing is they've done this before. Let me see if I can pull this guy out. Well, I just knocked over a bunch of shit, but what are you gonna do? The classic line, this guy's a little dusty. The classic line released a Scudo based, like the reimagined or whatever the fuck it was, based on the original design. So maybe that's why they did this one, is to have each version of it available. One in the basic line, cheaper, and one of the more advanced, collectible ones. Could be. These guys are kind of interesting side by side too. They have pretty similar profiles, except the front limbs on the Hammond collection one are much longer. So it gives it a different stance, which is kind of weird. But then the heads are fairly similar. The horns are much more exaggerated, of course, on the one made for children. Made more explicitly for children, I guess we'll say. And obviously the articulation is lacking. But, I mean, side by side, I could, believe these are, if not male-female, different subspecies or something, right? It's fine. Weird that we have two Scutosauruses, though. I mean, this classic retro style line they did only had, 6 dinosaurs produced in it? And they were all varying references to, Kenner figures. And so it's really weird to me that they did, out of all the figures from the Kenner line they could do, they did the fucking Scutosaurus. The unreleased orange and blue Scutosaurus. And then, to top it off, they go ahead and they do the fucking green one. So out of the Mattel figures we have that reference Kenner figures, we have 6 from this line, we have this guy, and we have a few other baseline figures that are references to Kenner. So that's 10 out of maybe 30, 40 dinosaurs they could do from Kenner. Why the fuck have they done both versions of Scutosaurus so quickly? Does somebody at Mattel love Scutosaurus? Is it their favorite Permian animal? Perhaps. Weird, just weird choice. Weird choices all around on this. On it existing, on 2 fucking paint jobs existing for this animal and the Mattel lines overall. Just strange. This figure gets penalized in the same way other figures do, by being not a film thing. Right? We have plenty of animals that we have yet to see in the in the Hammond collection line, and they go ahead and give us Scutosaurus. Same issue with the Irritator. Right? The Irritator we could explain by this was maybe going to be a website baryonyx, but the Scuto we can't explain, except for the fact that somebody fucking loves Scutosaurus, I guess. However, I do like the Kenner reference. I don't like that light shines through its shoulder. Figure quality's fine otherwise. This is a B tier. So it goes somewhere around the Dimetrodon tier. I'm feeling it over Dimetrodon, honestly, because I do appreciate the Kenner reference. Yeah, okay. Here's what we're doing. We're putting this in B tier. We're down ranking the Stego. I'm just looking at the tier, and like I think the baby Stego kind of fucking sucks compared to everything else. So get down here. You get out of my way. You guys all line up on him. We can straighten these out between videos. I don't need to fix this that much. Let's shrink this down. Yeah. So C tier is now led by the baby Stego. Ends with the Dimorphodons from the Hammond collection. Amber collection Dimorphodons. Yes, Hammond collection Dimorphodons are tiny nothings. Blue now takes up the bottom of the tier along with all these raptor variants that I'm like, whatever. And I'm going to put you behind the Scutosaurus because I do like the Scutosaurus more. But ahead of the Dimetrodon because I really don't care about the Dominion Dimetrodon. Sorry, not sorry, but it's not even a dinosaur, so fuck them. So yeah, I think Scuto here. I'm feeling it. Yep, that calls to me. That calls to me as being correct. All right, let's wrap this one up here then. Oh, I fucking did not actually shrink the video down. There's the full tier list as it stands. Sorry, you can see it now. Dimetrodon at the bottom here. Stego at the top of C tier. Yes, okay.